Welcome. My name is Ulf, as most of you guys know me by, and I'm gonna start doing a kind of a new chapter. Finally got some new equipment, some new editing stuff that I can edit some videos back together, and given me by a couple friends that support what I'm doing. And we're going to talk a little bit more about my apocalyptic outback bushcraft biking and camping on a minimum. Even some of the kind of apocalyptic vehicles and things that I use, and how I set up camps and camp in the wastelands. Right now I'm sitting at camp and enjoying a cigar and got my fire going, and I'll do some walkthrough here in a couple minutes of some different ideas and ways I survive on my bike doing some primitive camping. Hope you enjoy. Hopefully you learn something. So, rode up to the lake. It's mid-November, the year before 2020. Took my, I'm calling this one the Warpig. A little bit different from the Bedroll. But yeah, got another bike. So I originally started life off as a PC 800 in 1997. And, I'll do some camping. Then I'll do a little bit of filming and talk about some things. Campfires. So, step one when you get here is you want to get a good fire going. This is your source to life right there. Keep you warm, cook your food, keep the critters away. But in other episodes, we'll talk about alternatives to campfires. Luckily, I'm in a nice, hard to get to, but back out of here campground. Got my mess kit there, a towel. Always bring a towel. You never know when you not need a towel. I pack in a sheepskin to make it a little more comfortable both to sleep on and to sit on. There's my bed from last night. Got down to about 31 degrees or so. Wasn't that bad, wasn't that uncomfortable. I do a lot of tossing and turning, so I don't use bags, I use wool blankets. There she is, that's the Warpig right there. In all her glory, or lack of glory. Got a stick crammed in there, and I was hanging off my light bulb. It's a little battery operated light bulb I picked up at one 99-cent store. Puts off enough light, keeps the ghoulies away at nighttime so you can see things too. But I travel pretty light when I'm on the motorcycle because, well, you have to. This is one of the canvas structures that I brought up with me. And so I got that all rolled up on the bike. And then got my canvas set up already, but that was also rolled up on the bike. A little later I'll go over that again and give some better details on how those were set up. Right now I'm up here alone. I got a buddy coming up with me, which will be nice. Little company. But yeah, there's the camp and the fire, and right there, my life at this moment in time. Well, my life this weekend. And just talk to you real soon here. Or actually, I'll be back in a minute. This is where the commercial break is. Don't know. We'll see. Good old fire. Just kind of towards the end of the day and getting some last bit of the fire. I'll be going down to the lake down here, fetching some water. Then I'll put the fire out properly. Yeah, fire etiquette, man. Let's talk a little bit about that real quick. don't be a jerk, man. Pull your garbage, your glass, your cigarette butts out of the frickin' fire, man. That's just bullcrap leaving trash behind in a situation where, you know, other people may use these camps. It also causes these little back alley gyms to get shut down, you know, when people leave their crap behind. It's not cool. Also, make sure your fire's out. I'm up from in the Northern California, Southern Oregon mountains, and I'm telling you, we've had nothing but horrible fires back here, and it's for 2019 right now. You know, we've had some really bad fires. If you're going to use the fire, put the frickin' fire out before you go. I can't stress that enough. I'll be making several trips down to the water, bringing the water up here and dousing that fire, and then stir it. You know, come on. I don't know if you all do remember that, but, you know, Smokey the Bear taught you how to put out the fire. Well, follow the goddamn directions. Okay? You know, make sure that all your embers are out. They're not going to smoke. You know, if you got some extra firewood too, you know, I always leave my extra firewood around, you know, and just prepare it and leave it for people that come up and enjoy the next time they're up here. You know, make it easy for them. You know, I've seen some of these jackass dirtbags. They just chop down trees that are green, like the pole over here, right there. That was left in the bushes, and that was freaking greenwood. So some idiot went out and cut down a green tree and threw his logs down. There's a camp over next to me. The logs are, you know, maybe a 2-foot wide tree they chopped down, and it's green. What good's that going to do you? The wood's not going to burn. In any forest condition you come to here, you can always find, you know, what they call squaw wood. And you just pick up the little bits and twigs and sticks off the ground, immediately around it. Not only does it clean up the campsite you're in a bit, but it's also gonna, you know, that stuff burns. It burns good. It's great for a small fire, for making a small cooking fire. Your fire doesn't have to be seen from orbit when you're out camping. The only thing that does is puts you and everything around you at a danger. You know, fire etiquette, man. Don't pee in your fire. I know some of you, yeah, it's fun. Yeah, let's have a joke. Let's go pee in the fire. Dude, it stinks it up. It ruins that. The other problem is when people throw things in the fire and burn them like plastics, you know, so you want to be careful when you're pulling any ash or anything like that out of it, because there could be pieces of plastic that are burnt, pieces of trash that shouldn't be burnt. They're in there. There's bad chemicals in this thing. There's benzene and other horrible things. You know, so try to keep your garbage out of there at a minimum. If you need to burn garbage, just burn your paper, because that's not going to hurt you. But your tin cans, smash them down. Or what I do is I cook out my tin cans, throw them in the fire, let them cook out. Then I'll squash them down and I'll bring them home with me. Same thing with, you know, any plastic. I'll put, you know, crush it down as small as I can, hump it home with you. You know, just have a little concern about who might be coming up next to the fire. You know, the rate these fires are going and the way people are moving into these areas, this type of atmosphere that we're in is not going to last that much longer. You know, you're not going to come up and be able to enjoy this. You know, I'm hoping that my kids will be able to still enjoy this when I'm long gone. So, you know, common sense, man. Be a little courteous around your fires. That's it. Let's talk bedroll for a minute. It's winter. It's getting on winter. It's November, up in the mountains. It gets to about, I mean, lucked out. It's only gotten to about 30 degrees last night, this morning. But it can get colder. This is generally my cold weather gear camping. I also have sheepskin right here that goes with it. But got my jacket. Roll that up into a pillow. Tuck that down. I got an extra pair of wool socks I slip on at night. I'm wearing woolies right now too. Got my thing that's gonna cover the hat. Hat's important. I got that on my head at the moment, but wrap that around my neck if it gets too cold. But let's go over my system here. I've got 1, 2 wool blankets. Stole this from my daughter. She doesn't know I have it, but it was fuzzy and it's comfortable. Excuse me, to sleep on rather than the scratchy wool. Well, not sleep on, but cover yourself up with. Now my underlayer, I've got another wool blanket and another wool blanket, and then I get to my reflector blanket, or an emergency blanket that goes in the bottom. This is then all squeezed into, it's a canvas liner. I don't know what it goes back to, how old, or it was an old Army canvas liner that I picked up. I like it because it's big enough that it fit me into it. Yeah, I'm around pushing, what, 270, so kind of a bigger guy. So the little bags don't work for me. I always toss and turn a lot. So this, I can get everything in, and it seals in the juices really good. But stayed warm, not a problem at all. If it gets that bad, you know, I slept in the open, so, but if it gets that bad, secondary is, you know, you can crawl into one of these shelters. This will keep you warmer, seal in the heat a little bit more. Keep the rain off you too, but you know, I'm that guy. I like sleeping next to my fucking fire that's going on. Rolls up kind of thick, but travel light, freeze at night. I don't want to do that no more. I've played that game. It's not that fun. That straps onto the back of the bike, takes up a good amount. My little pieces there will hold any little extras and food and things like that, but that's my bedding system. Like I say, in combination with the sheepskin. Then there's a fold back all the wool blankets, and the sheepskin goes right above the reflector and the bottom, and that'll keep the heat up onto my back. Not sleeping with a pad right now. I'm going to be rethinking that one real soon, because yeah, as you get older, it's not as fun. And then I usually put a lighter canvas below everything, just to keep the dirt off of it a bit. Gives you also a little extra layer of protection from the ground. But that's it. That's my sleeping system I came up here with. So we'll talk a little bit more about these little structures I set up. Okay, this here is, we're not going to go through the setup right now. I'll cover that in some other videos later. But this is a triangle, lightweight, what do they call a rain fly from another tent. Somebody was just throwing it away, so I grabbed it up and tied one off to the bike. The other one's around a rock. The other part is on a bungee cord with a rope connected to it. And so I had to cut myself a log to hold it up. Worst case, you know, condition of, you know, rain or wind or whatnot, there's enough room I can get in here and get out of the weather. Yeah, so that rolls up to about, let's see, about 1.5 by 3-inch roll. Super lightweight. These things, when people throw them away, these old tents, grab them, man. It's better than running in one of those fine high-end stores where you're paying, you know, $80 for a rain tarp just like this, when, you know, you can pick up out of the garbage. Another version of camping, a little heavier duty one, is a piece of canvas, tarpaulin. I get the green, and this is known as a plow setup. So the two ends in the front, fold it in the middle, and those will close. And then tie that one point to the tree, and that's where you tie it to the base, just touches the ground. And then you pull your two edges out, and you stretch them out. Now, there's enough room in there to get, you know, at least 8 feet, about how tall the tarp is, 8 feet of clearance in there. And I'll show another video later on actually how I set it up, but this can be a piece of canvas. This will roll up to about 6 inches by 1.5 feet. Not too heavy. Good to bring around. I like it because, you know, if it's a really wet condition, I use it to throw over, that's my top quality patch jobs there. But I throw this over the motorcycle to keep it dry if it's just really coming down. If it's in really cold weather, cold conditions, rainy conditions, this is what I'll weather myself under. Also, you know, if I take this back end here, bring that up, I can just do a simple flying shelter, an A-frame shelter. It's very versatile. Tarp camping is definitely the way to go for me and what I do. You know, I haven't had a problem with the bugs or anything like that, but it'll keep you warm, keep you dry. Worst case condition, you know, you also throw this on the ground, fold it up 2 or 3 things, and it also gives you another layer to sleep on, and you can even just fold it over yourself to keep the, you know, the mist off too in the morning. You know, that works in combination of, you know, how I do my bedding. But all this gets rolled up, put on the bike. You know, got my water, got my cooking can, my canteen there. Basic camping is how I like to roll. But wanted to showcase you and show you a bit of how I'm camping out here in the so-called, you know, my apocalyptic wasteland biker camping thing. One of the nice thing about some of the campgrounds I choose when I'm doing the lightweight motorcycle camping, and finding these little gems like this right here. Don't have to dig a hole in the ground, which can kind of be a pain in the ass, literally. It's nice to have a site you can find that has a toilet. Old-fashioned pit toilet. Sometimes it's your best friend. You're gonna come down to the lake here, take one more enjoyable stroll, and then enjoy the scenery. Bring y'all down with me. Come out here, videotape the lake. The water's, I mean, you drink out of that lake, but you want to boil it first. There are fish doing bad things in there. One of those great little Northern California gem lakes up in the mountains and the hills. This is my traditional area. I like to come up here and camp out a lot. Nice thing, there's a little parking lot over there. Little pit toilet. I think I videotaped that a little earlier. Nice peaceful area. I like these little campgrounds. Come up here, I think you can stay for 14 days at a time. You know, never had any issue camping at one or finding a spot. Well, there was that one time, but we don't talk about that. But end of the day, I'm gonna start packing up, head on home. All packed up, ready to go. See where this takes me next time, man. Keep safe out there. Talk to y'all soon.